let's briefly get into that since we're on the topic. But I do think it's important to highlight. Me and Joe have talked about this, and I obviously don't have the experience with injury as much as Joe has. But any player has had an injury here or there. I've had smaller injuries, nothing surgical, knock on wood. Um, but knowing Joe's journey, right? 2 ACLs. This is her second labrum. Honestly, the question I have for you, and I think I'm curious about as somebody, as a former player, or even somebody who's maybe going through injury right now, is um, would you say that this was an easier process knowing that you didn't have this expectation of having to get back on the field post surgery, or do you think it's tougher this go around? Does that make sense?
No, no, no. That's a great question. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this one was really like pain-wise was completely fine. Like I didn't
You
take any
seemed great. I
like
mean, I mean, I don't
pain-wise,
know, but you seem great.
pain-wise, like phenomenal. Like I had zero pain. I mean, I probably did, but what is pain now, like considering everything?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest, this, and I was talking with my family about it, like this surgery like has completely taken it out of me. Like I am so mentally drained from having surgeries. And I know that sounds like maybe a little bit dramatic, but like
I don't think so. I mean, four surgeries in
every
5, 6 years is very dramatic. That's a lot of
like
surgeries.
and it they always happen like they always happen during the
Yeah.
holiday.
Joanna has a rough November, December. It's like PTSD.
Yeah, like it's hard for me and like honestly like November and December are tough because like it's surgery time. Like
I know.
I went through 2 years in the holidays where I didn't have a surgery. But other than that, like it has been surgeries and it's been, I can't do what I want. I can't walk around the mall. I can't do those things. And my mom calls, you saw it, my CPM machine. It's like with knees, you get a CPM machine to move your knee kind of back and forth to get it like passive range of motion. And
Yep.
my doctor with my hips wants me to do them with my hips too. So I kid you not, it's this big clunky thing. I mean, it looks like it's from 1980.
It is pretty
And
clunky. It like moves your leg for you,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. And transporting that has been a pain. And my mom calls it because Parker played on the CP3 AAU team. She calls it the CP3 machine, and she doesn't mean to. She really thinks she's calling it the CPM machine. But I was just on the phone with her. She's like, "You get in that CP3 machine. I know you're tired of it, but you get in that CP3 machine."
Yeah.
Like,
So on that, it actually brings up a curious, like, so there's two things I wanted to bring up that I think are relevant and are important to highlight for people that are either going through injury or have gone through injury. One, I think the more they accumulate, even whether you're going back, you're retired, whatever the situation be, I think the more fear comes in because when, I don't want to speak for you, but I do think like typically, right, you do one ACL. It's very common, unfortunately. It's like a very common injury you're seeing every year in women's soccer. And I think when you're younger, there's no question in your mind whether or not you're going to recover. It's just a matter of how much time has to go into that. I also think it's a matter of being unknown, right? Like you don't know the recovery. When you do it twice, you already know what you went through. It's almost like it's the fear of what you have to go through. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is like, um, yeah, just like, the exhaustion mentally of being immobile. I think people don't realize that. Like
yeah,
so many athletes, if you play any sport up to a professional level like me and Joanna, I think frankly, like it almost has to be like a mental reprieve because you can't work out that much for it not to be like it would be you would quit because you would just be like I hate this, it's not enjoyable. Like you have to somewhat enjoy working out to be able to like get to that level. And I think for a lot of us what happens is that we retire, we do something different, and now exercise changes drastically, right? We're not putting in as many hours, but it's still a space where we utilize whatever, if it's walking, if it's running, whatever capacity to kind of clear your mind and be like a mental tool. And so I think that's the hardest part is like when I look at someone going through that, I think if I were to go through it, where my biggest fear would be is just like not having that escape in a sense, like where if I'm having a bad day, like I can just hit a 15-minute Peloton workout. And for that 15 minutes, I don't think about, I don't know how you are working out, but with me, it's like I can literally mute my brain. And
Yeah.
I'm a deep thinker. Like I go places with my mind. And that's why I was interested about like your recovery, because I know that I felt like this time around, not, I've only been through 2 surgeries out of the 4, but I feel like this time around, um, especially with the holidays, I felt like it was more of a mental struggle.